What's up, everybody? My name is John, and if you clicked on this video, then you are probably struggling with some sort of health anxiety. I think maybe you have some issues with muscle twitching, and you convinced yourself that you are developing ALS. Maybe you think you're going to have a heart attack, some crazy shit like that. I've been there, and it's something that I continually struggle with on a monthly basis. Um, it's not really frequent anymore now that I've got like my diet and my physical health under control. But a couple years ago, when I started experiencing health anxiety symptoms, I legitimately thought that I was gonna have a heart attack. I convinced myself that I was having heart palpitations, and I probably was. I convinced myself that I couldn't breathe. I was getting dizzy, and I didn't believe in health anxiety. I thought it was fake. I didn't think anxiety was a real thing. I thought it was something that people made up because they wanted some sympathy from people, I just didn't believe in it. No one in my family deals with it, or at least no one ever talked about it before. Um, and it was just my closed minded belief that health anxiety and panic attacks wasn't a real thing. But I started having them. And, when I look back at that time, I wasn't eating correctly, and I wasn't exercising, and I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I was drinking a lot. I was consuming a lot of alcohol. Um, Doing what a lot of people do, live life, right? Have fun, go out at night and sleep 4 hours a night and then go to work the next day. It just wasn't good. That got a little better throughout the years. And I started running. I started training for a marathon. So then I started eating better. I went on the keto diet, and things got a lot better. I was actually taking anxiety medication. Um, But I realized that that medication kind of made me like zombie-like. Like I don't really remember what it was called, but I would take it once a day. I started halving it because it made me tired. It made me like feel like a zombie. But once I started training for this marathon, and once I transitioned into the keto lifestyle, I started becoming better at managing um, these weird thoughts that would pop into my head. You could almost like make yourself have an anxiety attack. You can work yourself into a dark corner and make yourself have anxiety or work up to a panic attack. And that's where I was. I could literally make myself have one. But once I started taking care of my health, being active, um, I could control those things a lot better. Um, my buddy and I started a podcast, and one of the people that we've talked to on the podcast was his cousin, and his cousin was diagnosed with ALS. And we were talking with him, um, and then we started a fundraiser to help raise some money because he needed to buy a wheelchair. He need medical supplies to get him to get a jump start on this ALS battle that he's still having today. And so I was diving all into ALS stuff. I was following ALS people. I started learning about the symptoms, what it does to your body, and one of those symptoms is muscle twitching. And lo and behold, I mean, during this time, this was just last year. This was 18 months ago or whatever it was, but I was not really eating well. I was eating a lot of processed food. I wasn't exercising as much. And I let myself slip into this dark abyss. And I started developing muscle twitches in my shoulders. It started in my shoulders. But I was like in the meat and potatoes of ALS, learning about it and following everybody on social media. And I remember the video. There's this football player that he played in the NFL. I don't remember his name. I actually had to unfollow him on Instagram because of this dark hole that I was in. But he was a football player. He was healthy. He was like in his late 20s, early 30s, and he just got married, and he got diagnosed with ALS. One of those symptoms that he was having, he talks about in this. It's a YouTube video that he's doing it on he's doing an interview about ALS. The first symptoms is muscle twitching. He noticed he started getting muscle twitches in his arm. And that was the same thing that was happening to me. I was getting muscle twitches all on my shoulder. I was in a very dark place for a couple of weeks. I mean, it was probably longer than a couple of weeks. The twitching went from my arm, my upper arm, into my lower arm. It went into my hand. It started in my left arm, and then it went all over my body. I was getting it in my chest. I got it in my abdomen. I got it in my legs. Muscle twitching everywhere. And I thought that I was coming down with freaking ALS. I was in a very dark place. Like if you have experienced in this, or if you're worried about this, and that's the reason you clicked on this video, I promise you, if you actually learn about ALS, you realize that you'll have atrophy much earlier than twitching, typically. You'll notice that you are losing strength in one of your limbs, or you can't hold up the same weight that you used to. Then that atrophy is what causes the muscle twitches. I ran into this video, this person on YouTube that helped me through this really dark time. Her YouTube channel is Sherelle Thanks, and if you clicked on this video, you've 100% more than likely seen her videos. She talks about her health anxiety road and how she's in recovery, and if you follow her on Instagram, then you see that how she's using what she's gone through and using her social media presence to help people. So I strongly suggest you stop this video, you look up Sherelle Thanks, and you watch her stuff, because she's amazing, and she will help you and make you realize that what you probably have is anxiety and not ALS. One of the things that she talks about is marking on the calendar how many days that you're dealing with twitching in your arm. So if you, like me, mine in my arm, I went for a solid month. Every day I would mark down, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on and so forth. I did it for like a month, and then once I got to the end of the month, if I still had full range of motion, I still had all my strength in my arm, I realized that it wasn't ALS, and I accepted that it was another form of my anxiety. I wasn't really too keen on how anxiety could, like, how it could move from like me thinking that I was going to have a heart attack to now it's muscle twitching to, I'm sure there's other crazy shit out there that your mind can play, and how it can play tricks on you. And I didn't realize that twitching was one of them, but it is. I started realizing that, again, I started being honest with myself. All right, what am I doing wrong that's making my anxiety more prevalent, it's coming on stronger? What am I doing right now? And I'm not getting enough sleep. I was eating shitty, and I wasn't exercising enough. Once I started, and it's hard too, it's hard to want to go exercise when you're dealing with some crazy shit. Like, you're not going to want to go lift weights. You're not going to want to go run because you think you're fucking dying, but you're not. You have to take that step forward, and you have to realize your mind is controlling you, and you have to control your mind. Once I started cutting out sugar, the processed foods, and exercising again, my twitching slowly stopped. Every now and then I still get it. I still get it in my arms every now and then, especially if I drink like a lot of caffeine. I've kind of narrowed it down to I get triggered by strong caffeine. So I drink cold brew a lot of the times, and if I have a strong cup of cold brew, I will legitimately start twitching. I probably need to maybe get off caffeine for a couple of weeks and then start introducing it again to see if that's really what it is. But to me, I've noticed if I drink coffee, my twitches come back. If I don't exercise enough, then my twitches come back. If I eat a lot of shitty processed food, my twitches come back. There one night, I ate crawfish, and I live in Texas, so crawfish is a big thing, and like immediately, well, I don't know what was in it, but I was like twitching the entire night. Maybe it wasn't food, but I strongly believe that a lot of our symptoms that we have, um, especially health, or your mind, um, the state that you're in is largely contributed to what you're consuming daily. Um, so I wanted to make this video for folks that may be in that same dark place, that you've convinced yourself that you have ALS. Um, ALS is so freaking rare, that you're not special enough to get it. I talked with my buddy a lot that I don't know if you believe in God or not, or what, who you believe in, what you believe in, but I truly think that those bad things happen to people that can truly handle those things. Um, Regardless of what you believe in. And maybe something crazy, maybe I'm not explaining myself, but his cousin is such a special person, and the way he's handling ALS is just amazingly beautiful for what he's going through. And only those special types of people can handle things like that. Um, if you convinced yourself you have ALS, first thing you need to do is go to Sherelle's YouTube videos, and you need to watch her videos, and um, maybe look at yourself and realize that you're dealing with health anxiety and not ALS. There's all types of things like high caffeine. You could be drinking too much caffeine. You can be dehydrated. You can be low on potassium. There's muscle fasciculation. I think I said it right, but that's like involuntary twitches. Um, and you could be too stressed out. You could be going through a stressful time in your life to where your body has just is trying to kick back and trying to tell you that something's missing. Um, there's too much built up energy. That's where I kind of believe where you have to go exercise. Like, regardless, you have to do something. You have to sweat something. If you're sitting at a desk all day, you're going into the office, you're playing video games all day, and you're dealing with health anxiety issues, you probably need to go sweat. You need to go do something that's sucky. Doing something, whether it's a cold plunge or a sauna, or doing something that you build a routine that you can look forward to, and you could work yourself, uh, make yourself feel better mentally, like you've accomplished something. I think that will help you combat this anxiety thing. Again, I didn't believe in anxiety or panic attacks or anything like that. I thought all that shit was fake. Um, but it's a real thing. And it's tough to talk about because it's not like a tangible thing that you can point to or you can grasp. Everyone has their own version of anxiety. One of my friends, he feels like his lungs are collapsing. He can't breathe, and mine started with a heart attack. People have their mind. It's amazing what you convince yourself of when you're in a dark place. But my recommendation is first go watch Sherelle's videos. If you're on Instagram, go follow her. I think her Instagram is Sherelle Thinks. And then really look at what you can do to better yourself and test yourself. For me, I don't do well with processed carbs. I do better on animal based food. I've following this animal based diet where I mostly eat steak. Uh, well, if I make burgers, I don't eat the bun. I'll eat cheese, but it's like high quality cheese. I'll do some fruit, mango, bananas, um, strawberries, blueberries, anything like that. Any kind of fruit. My favorite is mango, and I'll eat honey. If and I don't need a lot of it too. I've cut down to where I eat basically twice a day. I eat a lunch and then I eat a dinner. Sometimes I only eat once and it'll just be a lunch or just be a dinner depending on what we're doing. But if I eat like that, I everything else like falls in place for me. I'm able to stick to my workout routine a lot easier. Um, I made another video on my YouTube channel. Called a midnight snacker because I if I'm eating shitty, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and eat shitty again. Whether it's Pop Tarts or whatever. And if I keep that food away, then I can kind of control myself and what I eat. And I wholeheartedly believe that you operate at a higher frequency if you're eating clean and you're working out and you're pushing yourself and you're doing something that sucks every day. So I hope this has helped you. I love talking about anxiety and health related stuff because one, maybe it's becoming more popularized today, and it definitely is, but not a lot of guys like to talk about that stuff and like to talk about what's kind of irking at them. And I didn't grow up talking about feelings, but it helps. It helps talking about this and relating to people that have the similar battles, you know. So please, you're not alone. I'd love to, keep talking, hopefully helping somebody that's dealing with the same stuff. If you think you have ALS, do that one thing. Count how many days that you have it, that your arm or your leg is twitching. I'll get hot spots too, and I'm trying to think of questions that you may ask that you want answered. I'll have hot spots or I had hot spots where like only one piece of my body was twitching, like it'd be an arm for 2 weeks straight, and I legitimately thought I was gonna die. But then it went like all over my body. Um, then I mean it went. Then it went to my leg, where only like my thigh muscle was twitching for a couple of weeks. Um, and also don't get discouraged either. It's gonna, I like I said, I really suggest that you go work out, you eat good, but it's not gonna. You can't just eat good one day and expect everything's gonna get better. It's gonna take a while. Um, so just stay consistent. Use a calendar. Try writing your thoughts down, putting shit on a piece of paper, writing it down, using the note app on your phone, typing out on your, doing something like that, writing your feelings down or talking to somebody. Don't keep that shit bottled up. Anyway, I hope this video helps. Check out Sherelle Thanks. Follow her. Give her some love. Talk to you later.